Okay, I'd like to introduce you to the changes in JAMon 2.79, and a lot of the changes here build on the recent introduction of distributed JAMon that uses Hazelcast, so you can monitor multiple JVMs across your cluster. So first I want to talk about persistence. That's new here. The JAMon data is serializable now, so it will you can see local, that's kind of what JAMon used to be, just all in memory. And then on a timer, it will save the data to a file. So if your server goes down, it will come up and you'll still have your JAMon data. So here I'll just click go, and we're looking at the saved data you can see here. And there we're looking at local real time. You'll see if I do refresh here, this one updates the numbers when I do that, whereas the other ones won't because it's just going to save data. So that's that. You can also cache the results. So you could actually select any or all of these here and click cache results. And that way it won't go and refresh the data, so it won't change underneath you when you do things like sort. So let me turn that off. And then, so you've got the two local sets here, but these are the ones that are persisted in a distributed manner. You can name these whatever you want. Here I have Jetty 9 production and Tomcat 8 production, two different servers. We're on the Jetty one right here, is what we're looking at. And you can also query them, either one or all of them, by selecting them. Let's look at the exceptions. Let me type in a specific type of exception here, and then I can click go. And you'll see we'll get all the different exceptions on any of our servers that we've selected. In this case, none of them have exceptions except for this server. But what's nice is you can actually look at the stack trace for all of them, all of your distributed servers, by clicking on them, and there you go. And to show you another useful one, all pages would show the page hits from each of these servers. And so you can see the different number of page hits from your instances there. A couple other things that are useful. In this release, you can serialize the monitors, and that's how we do the save. I serialize it, but you could also. And particularly what's interesting is you can serialize these numbers and to a disk, and say in an environment like Hadoop, and then later reload them and start your monitors all over again. So you kind of keep counting things and timing things in between sessions, or in between when your JVM goes up or down. And then finally, just kind of cover a lot of this can be configured in the JAMon properties file. I won't cover it in all of its detail, but here you can see where you can put the properties file for both Tomcat and Jetty, so it's automatically found. This property determines how often the data is both persisted to Hazelcast and to the file, 5 minutes by default. This is a persister that's used. You can see here it's going to Hazelcast. That also saves to the file system, but you could comment that out and use one of these other classes, or provide your own. The label, if you provide it, will show up in this list here, or if you don't specify an actual name, it will default to a Hazelcast node name. So you can make it more meaningful if you provide the label. This is where it will store the directory it will store your data in. That depends on whether you're on Tomcat or Jetty where that will put it, but basic concept is there. And then finally, you can add any number of these keys and units, and it will automatically start a listener buffer, so you don't have to, so you can track details, and that's how we did exceptions a minute ago when we looked at the stack traces. So let's pull that up again. Let me do this again. There you go. Okay, that's just a quick overview of some of the new features in JAMon 2.79. I hope you enjoy. Happy monitoring.